Hello, so my name is Ella, and this is work I did with Alessandro Spatola about learning Java loops and control structures by playing. This is the first prototype, so it's not yet fully functional the way I would see a game function. I'm at the FHNW, which in English says it's called University of Applied Sciences and Arts, Northwestern Switzerland, and we're in the School of Business. I will talk about that later, how that works. So the background is, I do research, and I also, most of the time I spend teaching, so I teach Java programming, and I teach databases, 2 courses. And the setting is, we have master students who do research projects. And the course is called MSc in Business Information Systems. So this was Alessandro's work. Teaching, currently, in our school, does not use games for programming. And when I showed this to one of my colleagues, said, oh no, we don't need games, you know. We're good enough without that. So basically there is a general perception. When I started doing the previous game, which is shown there for SQL scrolls, also the colleagues were dismissive about this. Yeah? No, we don't need that. We're good enough without that. So basically there is an attitude among teachers that, maybe 20% think that games are good, and the other 80% think it's no use, it's not worth spending no time on that. In our school, at least. So we have some people doing games, but they're in the minority. And on the other hand, if you think about the world now, I've just looked it up, and there are about 10 million Java programmers worldwide. And there are also people with other programming languages. The way I learned programming was really the hard way. Okay? The only fun was when your program worked at the end. And that usually took, a day or 2. So having a little bit fun in teaching, I think has got all kinds of good influence on your well-being and makes you enjoy your course much more. I have got a game for SQL, which is first of all very popular. It's highly used in my course that I teach a database course every term. And I see in this year we have increased the number of tasks. We have got now 200 tasks. And this really seems to have a positive influence on the students' mastery of SQL language. So I think by providing more games, motivating them more, that we actually get a higher level of achievement, which is very important in school. I want them to be fully qualified to do their work afterwards. So we're starting with Java with one topic, which is loops. So this is a for loop in Java. A loop is a construct in programming where we do a repetition. We program repetition. So for instance, in this loop, if you look at line 4, it says for integer from 1 to 5, I increase that integer, so I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I add that integer to the sum, which is initialized in line 3, and I sum up all the numbers from 1 to 5. And at the end, I print out what is the total, and it says at the bottom, sum total is 15. So this is an easy loop. This is one of the things I teach in that teaching unit. The other loop is a while loop, which is more complex. I'm not going to go into that, but it works similarly. It's like just slightly more conceptually complex. So this is the way we have the game now. We run it on Replit. You can see at the top the address, and it says 12 levels. And the task for the student is to edit lines between, if you look at line 17, I hope you can see the number here. This is the method here. This is the method where the Ladybird moves. So you make it move. So here, in this version, I just say move to it once, and then stop. So the first green image is this playing field where the Ladybird is moving. It's got a mushroom in front of it, and it basically pushes it by 1. And then the second little picture to the right is after the move. And we have got this step and run buttons underneath the running environment. So most of it is still similar like in Eclipse, because this is what was the picture in Eclipse. This is how we program. But in Eclipse, I don't see how that loop works. I don't have any visualization. I just have the code, and I get some output, which I programmed. Here, we can actually move that Ladybird. We can do other things to this Ladybird, or do other things on the board. So we have got this in Replit like this, 12 levels, doesn't look very exciting. This needs to be gamified. We have At the moment, the experiment involved 12 tasks. There was a handout, PDF handout, with 12 tasks that they could do, and the tasks increase in difficulty. And in the game, what the Ladybird can do is on the bottom left, so that the actions, which are move, turn left, turn right, put, leave, remove, leave, and there are also sensors. So the Ladybird can sense, have I got a tree in front of me? Have I got a tree to the left, right? Have I got a mushroom in front of me? Or am I on a leaf? These are the actions, and the game actually was developed by people who teach in, I think, in those vocational schools, maybe in secondary schools in Switzerland. They have published a small paper somewhere, but there's not really like evaluation how good it is. So my student, Alessandro, adapted that game and put it on Replit because it runs in Eclipse and it's hard for beginners to install and hard to cope with. So we have tried to simplify that. And using these graphics, I think it works quite nicely now. So on the right-hand side, you see the board, you see a Ladybird, and the possible task would be to program, a complex program now it would be, to remove all leaves. So this is like a very advanced level, right? If you say, that would be task for level 12 or 13, remove all leaves. So the Ladybird, you would program a loop, if you see in front of yourself, if you see in front of you a leaf, go forward, take it, yes, go forward, take it. So we did evaluation in 2 classes on two dates. So this is an example date where I was in last year in October. We have, in this evaluation, we had 14 full-time and 19 part-time students. And there is a paper, which I'm going to show the citations for in a second, for MEGA Plus, Quality Evaluation of Educational Games in terms of usability and player experience. And the plan was like this, so we had an explanation before it started. So if you see on the right, 1745 as, maybe I should use that. So we had an explanation how the game works here, and there was a break, because I give them breaks every 45 minutes or so in class. Then they played the game, then there was a break, then they played again, and then there was a questionnaire with the researcher where they could ask questions and stuff like this. And there was a break after that, and then I continued some wrap-up and some more ideas. So the evaluation we did showed that the demographics are unfortunately the way they are. So in this course we had 88% male, okay, age 18 to 28. And then the survey consists of the following things: demographics, usability, player experience, and this is all according to this MEGA, and these are the citations. They're in the paper, so you can look them up if you want. This is the list of questions we had in the questionnaire, so there were 35 questions. And for each of those, Alessandro got the statistics, and I'm going to show now the results briefly. So the first thing was to assess how often people play digital games. Do they play at all or not? So as you can see, 18% in dark blue on the left-hand side play every day, and 40% in yellow play at least once a week. So these are digital games. So I would say 58%, almost 2/3 play regularly. On the other hand, the question was, how often do you play non-digital games? So here it looks completely different. So like 64% say rarely, from time to time, maybe like at a birthday party or something, whatever. So you see there is a big difference. They prefer digital stuff, or they use digital stuff more. Maybe it's easier to use. And then the main finding from that is what level did they get to? They had 2 playing sessions of about half an hour or so, and it seems like level 1 was very simple. You could just write move, 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 move without using any loops, so that was an easy one. There was like move the mushroom 4 positions, so that was easy. So they didn't even bother some of them. They started with level 2, and you can see it likes a Gaussian, more or less, yeah, and a standard distribution here. And there were some who did level 12, and we'll see later why. So this part of the survey was about aesthetics and usability. And you see the color coding on the left hand, on the side bottom, it says strong red is disagree, and then it goes to strong red, green, blue. So you see those areas too here, these are the weak points. I think that the game is easy to play, right? So that wasn't quite easy to play for a lot of them. And I think that most people would learn to play this game very quickly. So this is the same thing, you know? So the usability is still a bit weak in this respect. On the other hand, in terms of graphics, the fonts are easy to read, the colors are meaningful, and then the text font and colors are well blended and consistent. Now, Alessandro has a company which is called something like My Website or something, My Webpage, yeah? So he actually has a background in graphics. So he paid a lot of attention to that, and that shows. Yeah, I mean, he's not like a graphic designer himself, you know, but he's got skills in that area, so he managed to do that very well. And here, we've got to see here this 1%. We'll have that, see that later in the comments. So I tell my students, before you come to class, you have to watch the videos, and videos which explain everything. So this is the book, the slides from the book, and they should watch the video. So here we've got those two few guys who couldn't bother watching the videos before, so they come unprepared, basically. So you see that slide percentage, yeah? Here showing in red. They basically are lazy, are not well organized. Okay, if we look at the other questions, so the questions were about the contents and structure. Helped me to become confident that I would learn the game. This is like looks fairly green. So this part about challenge, new challenges, the game does not become monotonous, so whether it's exciting, completely gave me a satisfying feel of accomplishment. That also looks good. It is due to my personal effort that I managed to advance in the game. And that's a bit strange question, but I think most of this part, I had fun. In particular here, it's quite strong. Most people had fun. Something happened which made me smile. So these are like emotional and effectiveness judgments from the students, and because most of it is in red, in green is fine. There's here one, the game is appropriately challenging to me. So for one person, it was not challenging at all. It's a program. We had 1 or 2 programmers in class, and they don't always bother coming to class. So the ones who come can then, comment on it. So briefly, second slide, there was something interesting. So this looks also mostly green. The problems appear in some of the issues. There was something interesting at the beginning of the game that captured my attention. So that doesn't look too good. And also, I forgot about my immediate surroundings while playing this game. So the immersiveness is not that great yet. So we still need to do a lot of work. Over the last one, the game has supported my goal of better understanding the loops. That seems to have worked. So they also made some free text comments. They're positive. Most of the cases, except for the software developer. I like the concept, the game was too easy. But the other ones, they say, I enjoyed, I would recommend it, should be part of the course, much easier to learn, very fun, and this one will never prepare for the class. Therefore, I had to revise the chapters about the if and while statements while playing the game. So this is not the way to do it, okay? So next time I'll word them. And this is the summary. According to this methodology, this NICHA evaluation methodology, we have a score of 53 whatever. The score classifies that as a good game. In future work, we want to integrate it to make the game environment really like a game. Automated evaluation extends to one other topic, and I like to thank the students for taking part, and Alessandro for doing all this work. So this is, I'm finished, and I can take questions now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ella. Any questions from the public? Yes, Stefan. You can keep this.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Very interesting. I was wondering, basically you are writing something and then you have this Ladybird moving. And what about the opposite? Have you thought of like, I am actually moving my Ladybird and I see the code.
Yeah, I mean you could do that, but there is no one-to-one translation between your action and the code. So, if you have one thought in French, you can say it in 5 ways, so there is a problem of code like this that will be generated would have to be refined by some AI tools to make it really good style. And I do not think we have yet tools that, we do have ChatGPT and stuff. Maybe we have tools, I haven't tested them, that produce perfect code, but I'm not sure how that works. And the other thing is readability of the code as well. You know, there could be questions about how we do it. So you could go the other way. Now, technically speaking, the point in teaching language like this is that programming languages are developing. So when I programmed, or people programmed 20 years ago, they used lower level languages. There's still higher level of abstraction in languages. This is increasing. So I think teaching that is actually not bad for the future. And if it gets replaced by AI, that's fine, but there may be still some polishing, integration, refactoring of the code and all that other stuff.
Thank you. Christina?
Thank you for the presentation. My question is, okay, I know that you are focused on basic concept of object-oriented programming, like switches, tests, loops. But what about a little bit more sophisticated concepts? So, for example, how can you see that if you want to teach, for example, inheritance, encapsulation, something which is a little bit more logical, more difficult to visualize?
No idea.
Nice.
I haven't made that up. I have proposed.
Thank you. So I'm not alone.
No, I have proposed two master theses. One to teach design patterns, and the other one to teach students how to use Git. Because these are two other things that are hard, you know, and I think inheritance would be one of those. But I'm sure someone who sits down and does it, you know, if we have games for the basics, people will come up with ideas for games for more complex stuff, I think.
Thank you for the answers. One last question. If not, thank you very much.